faithful members of Christ and Coffee, Donnie and Ron and Paul. And they're always teasing me because whatever story comes up always goes, oh, that's my favorite story. And if they would have been here last Thursday, they would have heard me say, this is one of my favorite stories. Today, we read in the Old Testament lesson in Kings. We read about Naaman, the general, right, of the Aramean army. Let me set this up for you again, as I did last week. We have Israel as the northern kingdom, Judah is the southern kingdom. The capital of Israel is Samaria. The capital of Judah is Jerusalem. And to their west is Aram, which is modern-day Syria. We know that because Damascus, in Syria, Damascus is the capital of Aram. All right. Now, the king of Aram is the baddest dude around. Okay? He's the big guy, right? The rest of the kingdoms quake at him. All right? And they're constantly doing raids into Israel, into Judah, and they're stealing people when they do these raids, and they're making them a slave. Now, Naaman is the general of the whole army, right? He's the big cheese. He's the Secretary of Defense, the Commander-in-Chief, he's all those things wrapped into one, okay? And he's the king of Aram's favorite, and he ends up getting leprosy. And one of the girls that they stole as a slave lives in his house, and she tells Naaman's wife, listen, if he would go to Israel and see the prophet there, he would be healed. Leprosy was a horrible disease. Leprosy, when you were separated from your families, separated from lots of people, because everybody was afraid of catching leprosy. And by the way, biblical leprosy can be any kind of skin disease, psoriasis. You know, we usually think of leprosy as Hansen's disease, but that's not exactly what was in the Bible. Leprosy was a skin disorder. All right? People are afraid to catch it. All right? So he goes to the king of Aram and he says, hey, this little slave girl says that if I go to Israel, now the slave girl said to do what? Go to the prophet. Right? But that's not what he heard. He said, if I go to Israel, I'm going to get healed. So the king of Aram does a typical king thing. He gives a whole bunch of tribute, some gold and some silver, some garments and all that stuff. And he marches this huge army with Naaman in the front all the way to Samaria to talk to the king of Israel. Now the king of Israel, I love his reaction. What? I can't cure leprosy. Am I God? No. And he tears his clothes. Why? Because he said, look how he's trying to pick a quarrel with me. Because the king of Israel thinks, oh, if I can't cure this leprosy, that's going to give him an excuse to destroy my kingdom. Right? And the prophet hears about it. Now Elisha is the funniest one in the story here. So Elisha sends a messenger to the king and said, why did you tear your clothes? Well, he don't like to wear his clothes. Because it's an act of contrition. It's an act of, oh, woe is me, to tear your clothes. And he said, send them to me. So I can imagine the king of Israel going, hey, the guy over there said he'll take care of it. Go. You and your whole armies, right? So he marches the whole army to Elisha. Now Elisha, he's hilarious to me. He doesn't even come out to meet him. Hey, Luke, would you go out there and tell that guy, if you just go wash in the Jordan, he'll be healed? This makes Naaman furious, right? Did you hear that? He wanted a TV evangelist, right? He's like, let me see your arm, Phil. He's like, there it is. Ah! Boom. Right? That's what he said. He can't even come out and wave his heart on it. He says, go wash in the Jordan. Now, how many of you have been to the Holy Land? Any of you? You've seen the Jordan. I don't get the Jordan now. It is about the muddiest river you can get. Am I right, Bill? It is awful. People, I always thought it was hilarious. They said that they would baptize people in the Jordan, and they'd give them a white robe. Well, as soon as you put the white robe on, it ain't white no more. The Jordan is that bad. So Naaman, to me, says one of the funniest things in the Bible. Isn't Abner far, far better rivers than in Damascus than to Jordan. How dare that guy? Right? You know, it was like somebody said, go wash in the Schuylkill. No! No! Right? And so he's angry, and he's going to march his army back. Really angry. And I guarantee that when he went back, he's going to tell the king of Aram, they wouldn't help me, as an excuse so they could destroy Israel. And what is it? I always start thinking about this guy who comes up to me and says it's servant. It's like a senior enlisted guy. Because he always enlisted in the military. There's a senior enlisted guy going, General, if he'd have asked you to do something hard, would you have done it? In other words, if he'd have asked you to do something to cure this leprosy, you would have done it. He said all he said was to go wash and to be clean. The benefits of obedience. Naaman decides, well, I'm already here. And he goes down and he washes himself. And he comes out clean. Why? Because he was obedient. I was thinking about human nature when I read this thing. I love that. If he'd have told you to do something hard, you would have done it. In other words, they don't think something's from God unless it's like boom, crash, or somebody waving their hand over a spot, right? They don't think about that, but God doesn't require that very often. He asks for what? Obedience. People tell me all the time, if God comes out my boxwoods and sets them on fire, like he did the bush and the thing, and speaks beyond the bush, I'll believe in God. It's like, yeah, right. You'll go on and test your coffee to see if there was hallucinogens in it. You would. Right? People all the time tell me, I love this, I don't believe in God. Good, God believes in you. Think God cares whether you believe in him or not? People do these things because they think they want something big. In other words, they're like, if God comes and speaks to me, then I'll believe in God. Yeah, sure you will. Well, the only thing that God really requires is what? Obedience. Obedience. Today's gospel, it says today, that we are to love God and to love our neighbors. Two very easy things that some of the hardest things in the world do. Loving God. Some of us, not all of you here, so I'm not preaching to any of you, but there's a lot of people in the world, right, that God is money. Amen? Their God is money, and they worship that God. And they follow that God. And they do everything in the world to try to get that God. Greed, vanity. There's lots of gods in the world. So people would say loving God is easy. I don't see that. I see people loving power, loving vanity, loving all the other things that the trappings of the world have. Then the second one is to love our neighbors ourselves. Well, the news, just turn the news on, you can see that we didn't do that. Amen? Amen? We don't love our neighbors as ourselves. In fact, we blame our neighbor for half their problems. Greed. And boy, if they would have just done what they were supposed to do, this wouldn't happen. Amen? Right? Obedience. It's some of the hardest things to do. People ask me all the time, Father Mike, how do I live this so-called Christian life? What is it that I've got to do? Turn to page 301 in the Book of Common Prayer and look at your baptismal cup and be obedient to the baptismal cup. All of us here today, and I pray that all the rest of these people are on vacation and having a great time and hopefully worshiping in some other church around. Because the first promise that we make is to what? To continue in the fellowship. What else? You know? Breaking of the bread, prayers, and what else? The apostles' teaching, the breaking of the bread, and the prayers. That's why the liturgy is created the way it is. So that every Sunday we come in here and we do the prayers, right? Fellowship, and the breaking of the bread. Why? times I've told people in a marriage counseling, right? You promised. You promised. Sonia and I always made a joke of that, right? Well, I'd say something, she goes, well, I promised. And I'd say, well, I did too, right? Keeping our promises are one of the, it's a fundamental thing, but it's very difficult. May the Holy Spirit of God continue to move in our hearts. May we reap the benefits of the promises that we keep, right? Who knows how many of us God wants to heal of spiritual leprosy? We've got something wrong with us. If we would just be obedient to God, who knows where the